We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you. We'll be seeing you every Friday here at TFS. That foreign show. We'll be seeing you on that foreign show. We'll be seeing you.
ADR Networks presenta.
This is Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch.
And this is...
On that foreign show.
Yes, y'all.
And we start the new year.
Happy New Year, one and all.
Yes, I'm Celestine Angel.
I'm Isaac Rakesh.
And we're here on ADR Networks, activating
Your senses.
So, for that insider, we're going to start off with introducing a place that we were hanging out on New Year's Eve. We actually jammed there, and this is a studio of our friend Diagi. Like, the reason why we're introducing is because it is a very beautiful place. It's definitely a good vibe to, if you are interested to do music, recording, rehearsal, anything like that, and even just start something, you know, like I know you guys foreigners out there, you come to Mexico and you might feel like you want to do something creative, and here's a good place to start. And Diagi is like a great person, the owner of the studio.
It's a great place to start. It's a beautiful house. It's a studio, and it's a studio where you can actually record music in different rooms. You can mix, you can create tracks, and basically you can just have a great time because it's a beautiful property, right? It's actually some distance away from the actual city center, but it comes with like a just a overall great vibe, right? And designed for musicians to record and even perform your music.
Yes, and I'm going to do like a quick read of what Diagi told me to say. Basically, a description of Contra Studio, which is the name of the place.
Big shout out to Diagi.
Okay, so Contra Studio was born on 2019 because of the need for a place for all in the independent music scene of Mexico City to get access to a good quality recording and service for an affordable price. Thanks to that, we have been able to work with a lot of interesting projects the thing that we have in common is our passion in music. Our services include tracking, record, mix, mastering, live streams, and showcases. So if we go to the Instagram page right now, Mónica, puedes poner el Instagram de Contra Studio, por favor. So on their Instagram page, you'll see that they have been showing different bands, like giving them a showcase and streaming it live. And they actually do it basically like a session kind of style. So there are tickets and only with limited seating, and so it's like a pretty cool thing going
experience,
on.
Yes. Overall, it's a great experience, and you can actually kind of design it yourself because there's a nice outdoor space with a kind of grill, right? A barbecue grill, and you can actually cook some food there, like and
if the idea is cool with it, obviously, like
with the organizers.
But you can throw an event
throw an event there, and like what Celestine's saying, you can do the whole ticketed kind of thing, have your event there, and have your artists and your musicians perform. Beautiful vibes. So Contra Studio.
So and this studio also does production and everything, and they have like a huge mixing station. So and Diagi speaks English for all you English speakers out there that need someone that can do both English, Spanish, or something like that. Diagi's the guy for you.
Right.
So now let's move on to our guest for today. He's already here, so we are being quick right now.
All right, let's do it.
Takehiko is our guest today, and let's invite him on. Monica, could you put him? Puedes poner el invitado, por favor?
Yeah. First guest of the year, 2024.
Yes.
Takehiko.
Okay.
Hi.
What up, brother?
Hi. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming on.
Okay, so it seems your camera is on the side, right? So we can
it's weirdly set up.
Okay, well, it's cool.
Yeah.
So basically we would like to chat with you about like who you are, your family history, and all that jazz. So
okay. Well, my name is Takehiko. I'm 23 years old. I live in Mexico. I was born and raised here in Mexico, but I come from a Japanese family.
Right.
I would be the third generation here in Mexico from my father's side, and the fourth on my mother's side.
Oh.
So what happened was back in just after World War II, the economical situation in Japan was very, very at an all-time low. So they were a lot of Japanese people migrated to Latin America, to countries like Mexico, Brazil, and Argentina, and both of my families were those people.
Right. So this was like 4 generations ago, right? Like
from mom's side.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So my grandparents on my mother's side were already born here in Mexico. Yeah,
and since you mentioned it, like you said, both your parents are fully Japanese, right?
Yeah.
As in,
Yeah.
so, which means generation after generation, they managed to meet another Japanese person and they got married in Mexico. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
You know,
it's very
like
curious. I didn't think about it that deeply when they told me, but because all my parents' friend group, they are all Japanese too. So it's very, very curious how they all coincided.
Right.
right, but do they speak Japanese?
My father knows a little bit Japanese.
Okay, so it's kind of funny because they remain in the Japanese community. They are active in the Japanese community because they have a lot of Japanese friends, but they don't speak Japanese so like 100%, right? So
interesting.
So neither my sister or I know Japanese like at all. They didn't teach us anything.
It's very curious, right? Because it's like the cultural like thing is there but not there. You know?
Right.
Like,
So
it's very funny.
what was the pulling factor for your families to come to Mexico? Was it a kind of a business thing, or what kind of business did they end up doing? You know?
Oh yeah.
Yes. So I understand that my family from my mother's side used to have a fishing business back there in Japan, but they moved here and they started working for how do you say office supplies manufacturing. So they apparently there was people in Mexico were hiring a lot of people. So it was like it seemed at the time it seemed like a huge opportunity to come here to Mexico and work and go for a living.
Right. So, like, I mean, because the countries you mentioned, Mexico, Brazil, and Argentina, they are all Latin countries, right? So, like, I mean, Japanese, I mean, if the Japanese came, they would have no, it's not even English. So, it's another, I mean, there's a difficulty to learn the language and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
So, quite challenging.
My mother told me that my great grandfather learned Spanish from scratch. Like,
wow.
He came here with almost no money and no knowledge of the language.
Well, hats off to him because we've been there. And we
also learned Spanish from scratch. Still scratching.
Still scratching. But these are things that we are interested in on their foreign show because these are things that travelers experience and go through, or people that go into a different culture, right? Yeah,
the challenges, what they have to do to grow, in all kinds of ways. These are the stuff that we're really about.
Yeah. What about for you, like for your family and, like your parents and stuff? What are some of the challenges maybe you think being immersed in a different culture?
Well, mostly there's like cultural differences. Like my parents were raised with a lot of let's say Japanese mannerisms, like Japanese values and morals, and obviously there's like a difference between Japanese people and Mexican people interacting with each other. So we were raised very like introverted first. We're very introverted people, and when, for example, when I started off school, everyone was very outgoing, and they were very curious about me because I look very different, and that's pretty much whenever I meet someone new, I have to explain like, no, I'm Mexican.
Mexican,
how I'm how I'm more Mexican than I am Japanese, because I live among the Mexican people, and I live this culture more than I live my family's traditions
or cultures. Exactly. So in your case, I would say it's a kind of a unique experience, right? Like in your case, because you are actually Mexican, right?
Yes,
You
like I feel Mexican, but I don't look Mexican.
Yeah, but I find it very interesting that you mentioned mannerisms, because I think this is something that even if you're not carrying out the traditions of this particular race, you act these things, like they carry down because it's so ingrained in us. Like, for example, your grandfather, the way he carries himself, what he feels, his morals are, or like it's passed down even if he doesn't say them, because you just follow your the feeling of your family, right? You know what I mean? Like in a manner of speaking.
Yes. Can you tell us some? Can you share with us some stories or something? Because I sense that there was some, like for example, when you bring some of your Mexican friends, or to your house, and when they come in contact with the Japanese, culture, and yeah.
Oh well, recently with New Year's Eve and all, we actually had some friends over, from some Mexican friends over for Christmas dinner and New Year's dinner.
That's
So
nice.
yeah. So for example, my cousin's boyfriend is entirely Mexican, and he gets to live New Year's Eve with us and see how different it is with our family than with his. So, for example, we eat different food, and for the morning after New Year's, we usually eat mochi. I understand
Yeah, you told me.
that is a tradition in Japan, and how you eat it varies from your different province where in Japan. So we usually eat it with chicken stock and stuff.
So you say mochi with chicken stock?
Yeah, like not the sweet kind of mochi, like
okay, that's what
I thought it was the sweet kind, but there's all kinds of mochi, like it's stuffed with
that's interesting.
because we've only had the sweet kind. Yeah.
What is the tradition about? Why do they do that?
Oh, it's for good luck, to have a very good year. So we usually just get together in family and enjoy.
So these traditions that you guys have, right? It's particularly yours, because like it'll be a little your version of how to celebrate New Year's or Christmas in Mexico, right? Because in Japan they will do it a different way, and like what you say, your Mexican friends are doing it a different way.
Yeah.
So this is your family's special traditions, right?
Special tradition,
and he has carried on for 3-4 generations.
Yes. So when I speak with my friends about how they spend Christmas at their home, it's very, very, very different, and I have to wonder, but there's also some similarities. For example, in my grandparents' house, my grandfather actually passed away, but they still keep like a small altar of him in the house. It's very Japanese, but it reminds me a lot of Mexicans' Dia de Muertos.
Yeah. There are a lot of similar practices Mexico have with Asian things. I also
Yes, I would
do
have to
feel.
say, yeah.
Yeah, like this Dia de Muertos, like in Chinese. We also have Qingming, which is this is the same. Like you go and then you clean your the graves
Yeah, the
of
graves of
your
your
ancestors, and
yeah.
respect them that day and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
In Japan has it too, the altar, and definitely it's very similar.
It's very curious, and more often than not, I'm like whenever I attend, I have to attend funerals or something like that. They're mostly Catholic funerals, which is very curious that my family is Catholic and not Buddhist or something else. You know, only
Right.
once was I in a Buddhist ceremony for a family member. Well, and it was very, very curious. It's kind of the priest sings throughout the ceremony, but
it's kind of.
Oh,
we lost you there, bro.
We lost
sorry.
We'll be back.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yes, but it's really interesting, right? Like the point. Hey, we see you, but we can't hear you.
Can you hear? Well, maybe.
Okay,
Yes,
we got you again.
now you're back.
Sorry, so what were you saying?
Oh, well, I was saying that I've attended both Catholic and Buddhist ceremonies, and they're very, very different. But they both, I don't know, it's always struck me as weird that my family chose to be Catholic instead of
Buddhist.
Yeah. Also, well, yeah, I have, for example, I have a Spanish name in spite of not having any
Mexican blood.
Yeah,
what's your Spanish name?
Marcos.
Marcos.
All right.
Okay.
Well, mucho gusto.
Mucho gusto.
But like as in, it is an official part of your name, Marcos.
Yeah. So yeah, it's weird because I have my full name is Takehiko Marcos Hayama Fukumoto. Like I have two, and in Japan you only have one family name.
Yeah, but you guys follow the Mexican way of putting the dad's family name first and then mom, right?
Yeah, exactly. So So if I were to go to Japan, I would have an unusually long name.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, and yes, I mean, have you? What do you feel about, or have you actually participated in this kind of, like, Asian culture? I mean, apart from eating the food and stuff like that. Like, for example, have you been to that part of the world, like Asia and
Japan?
I have not, but my mother and my sister have. They were both studying abroad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your mom as well. That's cool.
Yeah, when she was very, very young, she used to dance. So she took a dancing course over there.
Was it like a salsa kind of dance?
No,
Japanese, right?
Traditional Japanese dance.
Okay, I see. All right.
Always been
probably like the one in the Memoirs of a Geisha. Like it's like kind of
kabuki, I think it's called, right?
Kabuki.
I
believe kabuki is kabuki theater.
Okay, all right.
Okay. When I think of kabuki, I just think of the brush.
The brush,
yeah.
Well, but this is really interesting, man, because like you and your family have a very unique kind of culture. I mean, of your own.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you about, like, for example, in places like for festivals like Christmas, like what in Japan, what is Christmas like? Like.
Oh, in Japan, it's more like I believe it's more like a romantic kind of holiday. It's a holiday that you spend with your partner more than with your family.
Oh,
so it's
okay.
celebrated like such.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Maybe that's where the mistletoe thing comes from, no? When they put mistletoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a romantic holiday, right? But like family and romance.
Yeah. And I'll say personally for us, the way we celebrate it is kind of like that, right? It's like personal and also family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, so you do know about the Japanese customs then, because you know that it's celebrated this way.
A little bit about what we also, as much as we practice over here, but I haven't been to Japan, so I wouldn't know a lot of Japanese customs from over there.
Yeah, like what like for example, New Year's Eve, like you guys eat mochi, but do you also eat because they have a bento that is specially with very very specific items to usher in the new year. Like my Japanese friends are telling me about that. You guys don't do that, right?
In New Year's, we do eat a lot of Japanese food, but I'm not sure if it's if every kind of item has a specific purpose. But we used to eat like sushi, fish roll, chicken.
Because I assume it's hard to get that particular bento over here, because my friend, she actually orders it from Japan, so it's very it's probably difficult. Yeah, she orders most of the time anyway, and then for the new year, I'm pretty sure she did as well.
Oh,
that sounds very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So,
and Lunar New Year is coming up like in a couple of weeks or something. It's pretty soon, the Chinese New Year. And in your family or in your culture, is it something that you guys celebrate? Japanese New Year?
Japanese New Year? No, no, I don't believe it's a thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I also don't know if Japan celebrates it. I know Korea does, but I don't know if Japan does. So yeah, that's why I think it's not something that you guys will celebrate.
So man, you can you can use this opportunity right now and get some. What do you do? Like is there something that you wanna plug? Now you can tell us about it, and you can switch subjects a bit.
Like I don't know.
Something you want people to check out.
Check out. Well,
like about yourself.
Well, I am a film student, so in a couple of months, my work will be uploaded to YouTube and Instagram.
Nice.
Some of the work I've done with my friends over at college.
Wow, really interesting. I mean, like over here, we've had quite a few directors on the show also, and film people and actors and stuff. Like, can you tell us a bit about where this interest came for you? How did it come about?
Well, I have always loved watching movies, everything about entertainment. Basically, I love watching TV series and anime. Anime was a big part of my childhood. And when the time came, I decided to study filmmaking.
So these productions that are coming out, like what kind are they? Like, are they?
They're short films. They're short films. They are all original. We all wrote our own scripts, and we all carried them out with our own money, like very poor
great, man.
productions, but they wound up being really, really good, I believe.
Are you planning to send them into like all the festivals and stuff?
Yes, some of the short films that we made will be submitted to a few film festivals to see if they are accepted and presented.
Oh, that's cool.
So what is the inspiration behind this, or can you tell the people a bit about what is this
Upcoming film.
Yeah.
Oh well, my script hasn't been produced yet. We didn't have enough time or money to make it. We're 15 people in my class, so some of us didn't get to make our own. But
Right.
a few of them in which I participated. One of them is called the audition. It's
Okay.
it's like a short scene between a movie director and an actress auditioning for a role.
Oh,
Okay.
While they are while the audition like sort of develops, you kind of see that there is some history between the director and the actors, and that there's a lot of resentment.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
And yeah, there's also a science fiction short film that my friend produced about artificial intelligence, which I think is very, very relevant. It's a small computer that tries to take over a young artist's work, composer.
Whoa.
I believe, well, maybe you would like it. I believe you two are musicians, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That sounds interesting, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like watching AI stuff or science fiction.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so when it's out, let us know and we will share it, and we definitely want to check it out and stuff like that. But it's in Spanish, right?
they are all in Spanish, yeah. But I'll see if we can put some
Yeah.
subtitles.
Subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would help.
So for you, is it more a case of like you enjoy doing this, writing the script more, or you enjoy the process of capturing?
I enjoy being on set a lot.
Mm.
But yeah, writing is very exciting, and I've also thought about writing something about migration, like as a topic for a short film.
Yeah. What would be your angle for this? Since that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, let's write a script right now, man. Let's do it. What we all? Yeah.
I would love to dig deeper with my grandparents, who have a much more direct connection with this part of our family, so that I can really capture how it was for them to come here to Mexico without knowing Spanish, and how if they were ever exposed to racism and such problems here in Mexico.
Yeah, because it will be interesting because there are like so many generations ago, right? It will be a different Mexico at that time as well. So like, what was it like? What were the people like? Were they treated? Obviously, they decided to stay, and they definitely like it enough to settle here
and survive, right?
Yeah.
And actually make it. And those kind of themes or stories are very interesting for people, right? Like, how do people survive?
Yeah.
And make it. Yeah.
How the the Japanese community formed here in Mexico. Right now, it's a lot more a lot more bigger, but I would like to see like the foundations of what that community is today.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I also find your point of view as a third, fourth generation migrant, like how do you feel? Like, I mean, you said you felt different growing up, but also still very Mexican. So it's like you have some identity stuff that you had to work through, I'm sure.
Yeah, like growing up, kids are ruthless. No, I suffered a little bit of bullying growing up because I looked very different. So they would pull me out and say like, I don't know, there goes the Asian kid.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, and also over here, I realized that in Mexico, like they would say stuff like negrito or I mean, they will point out racial things like, and it's supposed to be okay, as in it's not meant to be racist or something. Like, let's say if it's back in Singapore and like we hear these kind of terms. Like, for example, we have a friend, right? Korean friend that we call kimchi.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
like I never call him that because for me that is racist. If I call him kimchi, a Korean friend, it's very racist, but in Mexico it's not, right? So
No, it isn't. So, like, well, it depends on your perspective, I guess. Like how you are treated depends on how you take it, I guess.
yeah.
Because growing up, it really, really bothered me to be called like
Asian boy.
the Asian boy, the Japanese kid, or they just start or calling me sushi or something like that.
Yeah. If they call you sushi, it's like it's the same, right? The kimchi is like, why are you calling me a Japanese thing? That's all I am, you know? Yeah.
Like but now that I'm older, I kind of learned how to take it in
Deal with
in
it.
a lighter way, like kind of return the joke or something. Like, yeah, sure, I'm sushi. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, take it easy, right? Like just take it easy. Don't take it so personally, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's something that's very useful to do. Just kind of go with it. Yeah.
Yeah, but during COVID time, did you get more racism? Because it came from China.
Oh, and during COVID, like not really. Uh, well, I did get some like a little bit of mean comments, like, "Oh man, it's the Asian people's fault that COVID
Yeah.
thing." But
It was just a bit, right? Like I mean, I was here, so I know. It's just like
yeah,
a bit.
but nothing like what I've seen on the internet, like that happened in the United States, that people were actually harassing people physically and mentally in a much more brutal way.
Yeah, I would say like Mexico is pretty safe in terms of racism because there are a lot of other countries in the world where like you actually get attacked.
Right, yes.
Yeah, for simply for how you look. So yeah, it's here's probably just like teasing, right? Right? Like they just disturb you a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like mild.
Yeah,
Sure.
and now that there's more diversity here in Mexico more than ever, I think it's more commonplace to see like just a Japanese person walking by and a Korean person too, like a certain even here in Mexico City, there are certain areas where a lot of Korean people live and a lot of Chinese people live.
Yeah, especially now after COVID, the COVID period, there's a lot of foreigners, Americans, and a lot more Asians. Like everybody seems to be coming to Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah,
and a lot more activity also. Like
it's feeling much more international at this point, and Mexico City feels like it's really booming. Quite interesting after COVID, actually.
very interesting. Yes. And for you, bro, like how do you? So you actually studied film, or how did you get, more deeper into it?
More deeper into well, at the start I wasn't very like I finished high school just as COVID started,
Okay.
So I had a lot of time to think about which career path I wanted. At first, I wanted to study psychology, then I wanted gastronomy, and then I wound up studying cinema. But yeah, it was a very weird time because during COVID, a lot of people like me wound up doing a lot of nothing, you know?
Right. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, because if you're still in school, then everything slowed down, and yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it just wasn't convenient for me to enter college at that time. So that I figured, well, I'll get some work done, and while I think about my career path, and filmmaking was, it just seemed right. And
one of your interests.
yeah,
It just seemed right.
Yeah. I mean, so you're gonna take this as far as you can, right? Like, so you're gonna try to do more films and send them out to festivals and all that.
Yeah. I definitely want to pursue a career in filmmaking professional. And
that's cool.
However it may be.
That sounds really interesting, and we wish you all the best, man, in your endeavors on this path for sure.
I would like to jump back into integration topics because like that's exactly what it's cool to note that like the tips that you can give as somebody as a family that has settled here for generations is like how like what personally what have you observed like for the new foreigners that are coming, like what do you think that you can tell them to integrate better in Mexico?
Well, learning Spanish is a must. First of all, but in terms of like social matters, I believe Mexican people are very warm and welcoming. Like I know I look foreign, but I've never felt like a foreigner in my own country. You know, I always felt like Mexico
like belong.
Yeah, like I belong.
Right.
And the people around me have always made me feel like that.
Wow.
So yeah.
I mean, it's very interesting about that because Mexico is so old as well. You know, it's like it's an ancient civilization.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So like you coming and then feeling very at home is pretty cool. Yeah.
There's a lot of culture here. Like it's if you're coming to live here in Mexico, you might as well learn about it because there's a lot of things that foreigners miss out on just by looking at how Hollywood portrays Mexico. It's not very accurate. You know, there's a lot
very
more
inaccurate
background.
Yeah.
Is there something that most foreigners don't really know that you think they should about Mexico?
Well, I've met foreigners, and they always and they're very surprised at how modern Mexico is. Like some foreigners still believe that Mexico is just a big land of desert in a big country full of sand and everyone wears sombreros.
Wild West kind of stuff.
Yeah. I have yet to see any desert yet in Mexico. I would love to, but generally Mexico, nearly everywhere, every state that we visited is very modern.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So Mexico is a very rich and advanced country, and many people think it's not.
And like Take, how do you? Because I mean, a lot of our mutual friends, they are third, fourth generation and all that, but they are half. You know, they are half Mexican. They have Mexican family. But your family is both sides. They are fully Japanese. So like, how do you relate to all the cultures here, or all the history? You know, you're saying you're saying that there's a lot of history in Mexico to know about and all that, like, and you don't feel like a foreigner in this country. So how do you relate?
Well, by taking part in a lot of the cultural activities. But my family isn't much of a, well, we're more of a stay-at-home kind of people. So I've learned a lot more by visiting friends and spending time with them. There's a lot of things that me, my 23 years of living here, I still find out about, like
Right.
how some people really take Dia de Muertos very, very, very seriously, and they make these amazing works of art for the altars and stuff. While in my family, we just kind of keep it people candy and Halloween, and that's it.
Yeah.
So you mean, so you guys do celebrate Halloween, like as you give the candy and stuff like that, yeah?
Yeah.
Because it is a very Western tradition, right?
It is, yes. Is it kind of taboo in your family to, or in
like
your
death
culture,
stuff?
about death and things like that? Like, death.
No, there's a different approach. I mean, death isn't taboo in Japanese culture. In there's also, I believe, there's festivities to celebrate the death in Japan. It's just very different to how
Right.
people celebrate it here in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
It is very different, yes.
Right. Okay. So anyway, Japanese culture does not like fear death that intensely, right? Because like I would say Chinese culture has all these things about like death symbols being unlucky, you put them around, feng shui, that kind of stuff. But Japanese don't have, right?
There's I believe, Shintoism. It's kind of a religion that believes that there are spirits everywhere, and there are good spirits and bad spirits. So there's also like talisman to keep the bad spirits away.
Ouch.
But as death as such isn't as taboo. In other cultures. It's
right.
just a part of life.
So that's another thing that can actually blend with Mexico, because Mexico celebrates these ideas in a very spiritual way. So
Yes.
yeah, I also think that Japanese culture is very much something that Mexicans are interested in. I think especially these days, they like to know more about Japan, and they like to like Japanese things like anime, and so it merges well at this moment, at least I would think.
The blend of the two cultures is just, it is really amazing and interesting, to see. Well, man, we are coming to the final moments of the show. We're going to close up. And at this point, usually what we will ask our guests is to leave us some words for the viewers, some advice, or something that you want to share, something that you want to say to people who watch that foreign show.
Well, living as a foreigner in a different country, it's difficult. You will experience some cultural differences, and maybe you will experience racism at some point. It's just a thing of patience and opening up to your peers, and try to make them see that you are not like an alien or something.
Yeah.
We're all
Yes.
human
Not strange,
beings.
extranjero.
Yeah.
Extraño. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
So thank you so much, Take. Like, I think what you just said is really good to, for everyone to think about it. And we really enjoyed having you on the show. So
thank
now
you.
we're gonna end off, and so I'm Celestine Angel,
I'm Isaac Rakesh.
and we have Takehiko Hayama with us. And we're here on ADR Networks, activating your senses.
Goodbye.
Everybody, thank you.
Gracias, Monica.
Thank you to all who joined us here on That Foreign Show. It's been awesome. I'm Celestine Angel.
And I'm Isaac Crouch, and we'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend, y'all.